I'm Mahdi Shaheeb Sher. My website is www.shaheeb.com. I think one of my interests in the world as Mahdi Shaheeb Sher is American democracy in the world. I think that America does claim to have a democracy in the world. I think it's founded itself on the principle of democracy. I think that America is very vocal about its position on democracy. I think when it comes to America's doctrine about its faith and beliefs about democracy in the world, then there has to be some kind of resolution in the world to listen to what America has to say about democracy. Because when it comes to how the world revolves in the world with American democracy, it is important, I think, to draw on the type of democracy we're living in. I think the democracy, as people see it in the 21st century, is about freedom and liberty. It's about equality, human rights, and it's about standard of life and quality of life. If you look at where democracy comes from, I think it comes from kind of the election processes with government and politics. I think it originates from Europe in the 1930s. I think that's where democracy originates from. I mean, this can be checked with public information, but I think the origin of democracy starts with 1930s Europe and the election process kind of incorporated in kind of the election systems and the formation and election of governments in Europe. It's primarily focused around Europe. I think Germany, France, Italy, Spain all adopted certain election mechanisms. And with these election mechanisms, we had kind of public participation in government to elect government and decide on government. And I think that's how we founded the principles of democracy and the foundation of democracy as a system of government, as people see it. I think my personal view is that democracy is an election mechanism with many different forms of government. I think a lot of people like to see democracy as a form of government in itself rather than a process of electing and forming government, primarily from 1930s Europe. I think that Germany did it with kind of the Nazi Party, the National Socialist Party. France, Spain, and Italy have kind of done it with their own kind of nationalist governments. And I think that the foundation of democracy is kind of based in the public participation of government. I think prior to 1930s Europe, there was very limited public participation in government, and this can be checked, I think, with public information now. I think that before 1930s, there was very limited public involvement and participation in government. Most of it involved kind of like military participation in government and maybe political debate and other aspects of government. But I think after 1930s and the system of governments we have kind of like a public participation in government. And I think that's when democracy started in 1930s Germany. So that's my view about kind of democracy, how it's kind of founded. It's founded in 1930s Europe. I think that's the origin of democracy. And that's my view about that. Thank you very much.